All right, everybody. Just want to say, hey, thanks. I got a lot of questions and comments on my last video about the Condor. What's the name of that? The Condor Sentry versus the CPC or compact plate carrier. I want to say thanks for all the questions and comments. I'm going to do one more video where I do a roundup of those two plus the Tidepool carrier. Just want to say thank you, and I'm going to hopefully address all your concerns and questions. Everybody's going to email me, blah, blah, blah. I'm either selling everything or I'm giving it away. So I got to do this now, and this will also probably be my last opportunity to do such a video. The first thing I'm going to cover is the Tidepool carrier. It is a 1.5 liter carrier. It's actually very compact. It's very thin. As you notice, it's really small. You got MOLLE across the back. You've got your Velcro for your patches up here. One thing I do want to point out that somebody did ask, if you notice here, it does fit flush with the bottom of the Sentry. It's absolutely as long as the Sentry. Sits right on the bottom. Go ahead and do this. Oops. Well, anyway, you get the idea. I didn't do all the straps just so I could take things off and manipulate it, so they're kind of coming loose on me. But the back of the Tidepool has, there we go, it has four. There should be another one here. It has 4 straps, which is a little bit different than the usual standard style, which is just really long, and it's got 2 long straps down the back. This actually has 4. Just something different, but works anyway. The other unique feature about the Tidepool is that it actually unzips from the bottom, like this. So you have to imagine if this is on your back, right here, you would have to open that up to access your bladder, which I have handy right here. So you have to imagine this is sitting up in your back here, like so. I do want to say I did play airsoft with this about 2 times. I do want to say that this design really doesn't work the best. I mean, it's very compact. It looks cool. It's very slim. But as you can tell, I'm kind of already having trouble here with the hose. And the main problem with that is there you go. I got it flat. It takes a little bit of effort to get everything flat in here. Normally what I like to do is like what most people do is they like to take their plate carrier and hang it over like some sort of wooden stand or like the back of a chair. Whereas the other, put it away. But the other, the standard kind that opens from the top, you can kind of lift your bag out, pour water into it, shut it, and close it. Simple. But with this, you really can't do that because you got to imagine if you're sitting on a chair, you got to flip this up, you got to hold that out of the way, then you got to unscrew this, pour your water in, close it, and then you've got this full of water down here, and you got to kind of cram this back up. So it doesn't work really well like that 100%. And the main thing, or the best way to deal with that I found is you want to make sure you lay everything flat, either on a table or the tailgate of your truck or something, or maybe the hood of your car. And then you want to make sure that your bladder is using the included straps in here. You want to get that up as high as you can on the inside, flatten it out as best as you can, then close it. That'll make sure that mainly this area here, this tube, is free of kinks. Because I found doing it the other way where it was on the back of my chair, that this thing would wrap up underneath kind of like that, and you'd miss half your water because the tube would just kind of kink up. And so it's kind of sensitive and kind of picky that way, but you want to make sure you get it in there real flat before you close it up. Not a big deal, not a deal breaker, just takes a few more minutes. That's all there is to it, no big deal. Across the outside, you do have a pocket. This is a pretty deep pocket, as you can tell. I'll put my hand in. It's pretty thick. You could fit a bottle of BBs in here. You could fit food. You can fit whatever you want. Like most things on the back, though, you're either going to have a friend help you out, or you're going to have to take off your plate carrier or something to get in here. You've got plenty of MOLLE on here. I had a long game a couple of weeks ago. What I did was I took one of the extra pouches off the back of my gun bag and just threw it on here. I had a ton of storage. People were getting BBs out and everything. It worked pretty well for that. And everybody's been asking me to cover measurements, so I'm going to do that right now. One more time, I'll go ahead and do this. This is 13 inches long. This is the Tidepool was 13 inches by about 8.5. So to round that up again, 13 inches long by 8.5 wide. All right, that's 13 inches long by 8.5 wide. Now if we go ahead and go to our Sentry, go ahead and measure that. The front and the back are exactly the same, so the measurements are going to be the same for front and back. So if we do from the top to the bottom, that is 13 inches. So it's the same exact length. If we do it this way, we're going to get, looks like 11 inches. 11 inches wide on that one. So it's 11 wide by exactly 13 long. I guess with that, I'll go ahead and go right into my Sentry review. All right, this is my Sentry. I did buy it. I am in the process of selling it right now. I think it cost about $33 online. They brought the price down a little bit from when they were initially offered. It is pretty cool. I like it a lot. I saw some photos of me a couple weeks ago that somebody had taken. It just looks small, and that kind of addresses some of the concerns I had with it, that it just kind of felt a little uncomfortable. If you notice, I'm 5'10". I have very broad shoulders, broader than average. I weigh about 250 pounds. So, you know, it looks kind of all right. I got to admit, if you're wearing a black shirt, it kind of does look cool. But if you're wearing something like a combat shirt, which I was, it's got that kind of silky jersey material, and then you put that on and just really skin tight. It doesn't look right. And on top of that, it didn't feel right. I like to play sniper anyways. I've mentioned in a lot of my videos, so I'm going to be going back to a chest rig. I find that's more comfortable. Speaking of chest rig, so this is just as cool as a chest rig in terms of temperature, play-wise. So what you can do is open it up here. You got your two halves. It has like a mesh kind of material. There's no foam. There's no backing in here. This is upside down, but this is where you put in your plates. I've got a magazine in here right now. I mean, a catalog. This is a pretty thick IKEA catalog. Worked fine as a plate, but it accepts large sappy plates. But there's no foam. There's nothing in here. It's just all soft. You've got kind of a breathable mesh material in here that makes it really soft, very comfortable. Same thing as for the front. The front and back are nearly identical, except with the addition of the drag handle across the back. If you notice on the front, it is just barely wide enough to fit 3 mag pouches. You can configure that however you want, but that's about all you're going to get on there. If you put anything on top, you're going to have difficulty drawing your mags. It's at your discretion. You do have built-in loops on either side. You can put your hydro tubes through there, antennas, blah, blah, blah. One thing I like about this is it's got this forward kind of rip handle here. When you've got it on, you can grab it and pull it forward to tighten it up. I like that a lot better than having to do it backwards. Just personal preference, but that's how I like it. I'm going to go ahead and throw this on real quick. Just to show you. Now, if you're wearing a black t-shirt or something, this does look kind of cool. But like I was saying, if you're broad-shouldered like me and you're wearing it, and you're wearing a combat shirt, or you're wearing like one of those silky kind of shirts, and it looks really small. I just can't put my finger on it, but it looks like it's kind of in here. The black kind of, I guess, kind of helps it look better. Like they say, you know, black hides everything. It's probably true. But anyway, it does look a little small, I think. Like I said, it's uncomfortable. I'm going to go back to my chest rig. I think maybe it's just because I'm a bigger guy. You know, I wear my weight differently. I like to lay down, and chest rigs are a little better for that. I'm going back to my Ronin, where I've got my mags on the side here that allow me to lay down. And it's kind of hard to do in this. I love chest rigs. It does look, plate carriers. It's just a little too small for me. I don't have any other complaints other than that. But as you can tell, when you get this strapped up on the side, it's all open in here. It's just as cool as a chest rig. It's not hot. You live anywhere, like in Florida, California, maybe anywhere in the South. This is definitely better than any of the ones that have like the cover buns that go around the outside. There. Cover that pretty good. One thing I do like about it, it has really nice padded shoulders. These are similar to what you'd find on your other bigger plate carriers. They're definitely padded. They feel good. That's one thing I do like about it. It's a very nice carrier. Don't get me wrong. It's just not for me. Anyway, going back to the C-piece here, compact plate carrier. This is Condor's older style. In fact, this is probably a very old design. This is actually what they call an MBSS, or Marine Ballistic Survival System. And this is pretty much the first plate carrier, I think, that really got put into use. Well, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know 100%. But I do know it's an older military design as well as one of Condor's older designs. But it still has its practicality. This does fit me a little better, but there's a few caveats I'm going to go over with you. The first thing you'll notice is you can fit 4 mag pouches across the front. That's because it is wider. It does have some of these. It actually curves out a little bit. That allows you to put 4 mag pouches on the front. Aside from that, it's very similar, but it's a little bit different. It's just basically a big fabric molly panel. It takes large plates. You basically just hang it on, and there you go. The shoulders aren't padded, unlike the Sentry. But what is kind of strange about this one, though, is it does have a sort of soft armor on the front. It's got this like contoured panel, kind of like embossed or something on the inside. They say it's supposed to help airflow. It really doesn't. I really think that this is the carrier's biggest negative or drawback, because this foam up against your chest and back makes it very hot. I found that I just sweat like crazy with this down here in the summers down in Florida. The other thing is, you can see it's probably hanging weird. It already has a crease in it. It just kind of, as you can see, it's mainly across these main lines that it's starting to get creased up. And it just, when you wear it, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it creases on those lines, and it's very uncomfortable. I think the foam has just broken down, and I don't know, like elastic on your underwear, it just doesn't feel right. That's all I'm going to say. But, it ain't feeling right. So I'm kind of not wearing this. In fact, I'm giving it away. I really wore this out. This was my first plate carrier. And I got my use out of it. Good time with it, but, time to move on. Just like the Sentry, it's got side snap closures. You put these on and off. The back is very similar to the front. Same thing with the Sentry. It's got your pocket back here for your plates or catalogs or whatever you want to do. You've also got a full back. You can add on pouches, hydro carriers, whatever. I'm going to go ahead like the other one, put this on. I want you to notice the difference, though, in the plate carrier. How this, first of all, it comes down a little further than the Sentry. Also, notice it's wider across the shoulders in the Sentry, so it definitely looks like it fits better. It does have a bib kind of style to it, just a little bit different. There's no cummerbund, same as the other one. Just a different look. Does the same thing, just different size. And it does tend to go out to my shoulders a little more. It looks a little more fitted and fuller. So if you're a bigger guy like me, you probably want to go with something like this. It's a great entry-level plate carrier. Like I said, it broke down. That's my only problem with it. And also, I kind of wanted something a little more modern. I may upgrade to something like a Cyclone or an MOPC later, but for right now, I'm just going to play with my chest rig and ride that out and see where I am with that. But we'll get into the measurements here. Just a second, I'm going to go ahead and measure this just like I did the other 3 pieces, or other 2 pieces. I'm going to go ahead and do the back. It's a little... It shows off what's going on with the carrier a little bit. The shoulders are wider. If you notice, it kind of has this hourglass shape where it goes out a little bit. That does give you more width on the bottom and the top. I'm going to say maybe the shoulders are about even with the bottom, but we'll measure and find out. Going right across the shoulders, this is 11.5 inches. It's 11.5 inches across the shoulder. Across the bottom, we're sitting at 15 inches. So the waist is 15 inches. The shoulders are 11.5. And then the middle is 12 inches. So you got 11.5, 12, 15 inches. And the length is 15 inches. So it is as long as it is wide at the waist. And now I've completely forgotten what I just said. So if you need to, through the magic of YouTube, go ahead and rewind all that and you get all those measurements again. As I said, this was my first plate carrier, but I did move on. It's a great first plate carrier for you. I see a lot of these at the field. For some reason, though, with a Sentry, I don't see them. I don't see them online either. They're all sold out on eBike. I guess it's that whole backup from China deal. Anyway, I hope I've covered everything. I've answered all your questions. Boom. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. As always, shoot me an email. Anything down below, send me questions. I've answered everything, I hope. I really appreciate all the likes, the support, everything else. Ask me what you want to see in a future video. Do a lot of stuff. I got guns, I tech. Just having fun with it. I love airsoft. Anyway, take it easy. Peace out.